has been a decent break. You know, I haven't been uploading as much as I've been mainly because of Wukong and also going live. And father's back, father's home, you know what I'm saying? But there's only one reason why I really came to this game. Well, really two. Yes, I know. Yeah, can you really blame me for coming back? Because Gravity Shikai has been one of the coldest thing ever. Well, I like to call it gravity. I don't know why they call it weight. And honestly, there's nothing. And the fact that this is a common raises some eyebrows. Because what am I exactly looking at here? Now, there's a lot of things I wanted to break into. Is the fact that it has a lot of combo potential for Haku, especially the Z and the X. Now the C, can't see anything why I would use it. Maybe just a throwaway move. Maybe in gank battles I'll just throw it in there willy-nilly. But it's like, I don't know, that shit's really mad hit or miss most of the time. But I digress. Now one thing I wanted to explain about, or want to say anything about, is regarding why, how do I explain this? Why is this a common? I don't know why. This is more, at least more of a rare more than anything. There's some moves that shouldn't, you know, like for example, the X move, right? The X move is able to, even if you dodge it, parry it, or anything like that, there's no stun after it, so you can use a move right after. You know, most of the time I will combine it with Confliction, with X, and try to figure out some toxic combo. I'm telling you, in a couple more days, you will see more toxic X type move that's gonna be slowly introduced to the game. Now, if I rate Gravity Shikai, I grade it to a strong 9. Now, one thing I do like is that they're adding more content. If you check the update log, there's a lot of stuff going on there, you know what I'm saying? And sorry if I do sound sick, I don't know what's going on, my nasal cavity. But anyway, there's a lot of, you know, a lot of things that's introduced to the game, you know, there's a lot of Shikais, a lot of weapons, a lot of stuff that everyone can eat. I don't know if Quincy ate that much, I believe. But one thing I wanted to speak about is, I feel like they, you know, they kind of mess up at is that no one is actually, I think, it's nothing, how do I explain it? There's nothing to do after you get everything, right? I mean, I like how they introduced the raid shop. Now that should be a good example. The one thing they did good is the raid thing. I believe it makes the community want to do something, and that's what community craves for. We want to do something instead of just spinning to get new shit and just play with it for a couple hours. We want to be on something like in a community S type thing. You know, I've always been a huge advocate for Soul Shuffle, and hopefully we see it later in the future. You know, no promises. You know, one thing I would say is, you know, I talked to one of the owners, and you know, hopefully they reached out, in my opinion, on how they could do it, and maybe we'll see it. You know, that God is good. But me personally, I'm not a big advocate for a lot of new content in the sense of just new Shikais and, you know, new skill boxes. I mean, I got on because of the Confliction and Gravity Shikai. You can't even blame me. I don't know what a simulation is, and we'll probably test that out in the video. But like I said, I wasn't really a big advocate of just adding just new content and just throw it in there. We want more, you know, I mean, look at Deep Woken. They added a lot of quality of life things. You know, Conquest still hasn't been open, hence, like, you know, Hell update. And we're still waiting on that. And you can see, like, you know, Deep Woken makes it where you can add new ways to progress. I mean, then again, Deep Woken has a more broad spectrum of progression, while Deep, you know, Type Soul is more linear. So it's kind of hard to argue for that. It's just that they gotta give us something to do, you know. Maybe actually maybe new events that they can add, like, you know, I've said this many times, Fortnite-esque communities, or, you know, I don't know, make us do something. All right. Make us want to get on the game and do some new shit. You know, I probably introduced the idea of full bringers like many years ago, and I'll probably show you in a video or a card here if I may have not forgotten, where I've stated that they should have been in the game a long time ago. I mean, granted, we have copy games doing it and shit, and I really don't understand or fathom why people want to do copy games, because one, you're just stealing people's work, and two, you're wasting all your efforts. I'd rather see you build a whole new entire game, and I want to see your new, you know, work there. Make a new anime game, make a new Bleach game. Taking copy doesn't really necessarily make that game whole or by itself, because it will all be labeled as a copy game. You know, all that work and talent just gone to waste to a copy game. But I digress. But anyways, I feel like they should just add more community events, you know, maybe full ringers or something new and interesting. I just don't. Right now, all I get on is for new Shikais, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can, you know, quote me on that. But hey, that's what we can just wait, man. That's all I can say. Now, I wanted to touch upon a little bit on this, where you're probably wondering what I mean by community events. I really hope that they add, like, I guess you could do this one thing where I realized where it's like 3 factions, right? There's Quincy, there's Soul Reaper, and there's the Rockars, obviously. And they can make it where, you know, we have to queue up in some sort of mode or something that makes us do it, where You know, depending on which faction, you have to use one slot. You can't use multiple slots. But whatever team is winning the most gets the points. Yes, I understand that most people have a Soul Reaper or Ron Card Quincy slot, so it may not be as much, but it's something cool to do. Where essentially, well, actually no, they can make it where it's only limited to one slot or one account that you get. So basically, the Soul Reaper is, you know, whoever gets the most points as a total universal point. Where we do in a community event, you know, who gets the most grips or who gets blah blah blah. You know, maybe a new legendary, fuck legendary Shikai. Maybe something new that makes us want to get on. Maybe like Vastal Raid, or maybe like, I don't know, Quincy's get Sclav early. You know, something that makes us hyped to get something new. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, get ideas from hell. They can get some new unique ideas from the aka the suggestion board. I'm pretty sure that suggestion board has a lot of decent ideas. I mean, most of the time people just do gap in there. I've seen someone said the nerf grand entrance. Oh, not grand entrance, triple striker. Okay, but anyway, yeah, something like that. So basically, let's say that, you know, everybody's queuing up. I win as a Soul Reaper, we get 2 points onto a universal leaderboard, and you know, it keeps going. Like it's like a 2-week, 1-week event where it just does that. Or this might sound crazy, battle royale. Or this might sound crazy, it's like a boss raid where you spawn in as a big ass mecha suit. I'm pretty sure that's probably in the game, but someone probably talked to something like that. I haven't played this game in a very long time. Okay. Well, a week may not be a very long time to y'all, but to me it is. But yeah, you know, something these innovating that can introduce the game being fun. And I don't know why they're very hesitant of doing bi-weekly updates. You know, I talked to someone about it. I said, why don't y'all just do that way? Because it's probably better for you guys mentally, not having to be farmed off of just ideas and just throw willy-nilly shit. You know, for example, the SR Honkin weapon, I haven't tested that, and I know for sure I would have definitely hopped on for that new simulation. I don't know what's called, but simulation, not simulation. It's like, I don't even fucking know. It looks like a Reishi claw. That's what it reminds me of. But we'll talk about that in the next subject. But yeah, like I said, they could have added these new ideas and shit like that. I'm not having to force, force new content or force, you know, redundant content. Would I give this update a N or an L or a W? I would give it a mini W. It was pretty cool. There's a lot of new content for me to make, and there's also like a lot of new stuff people can test out. Now, speaking of, you know, testing out, it looks to me that when I hop on, rank seems to be changed a little bit, but is it the best? I don't know. I still miss the old rank. I mean, there's just certain stuff that does not need to be touched, which is rank. I don't know why that got touched. Maybe, you know, I'm not saying it's, you know, Canadian MRE's fault. It could be, you know, from a higher up. The Goro say may have told them to change it. May not. What I'm saying may be true or may not be true. But it all comes to a matter of contract. Now, what I want to speak about is bi-weekly update is because when they, you know, it gives the developers a breathing room where they can take, you know, they only take a week to create the item and then another week to just straightly stress test. And I feel like they should make it where what they were doing back then is where they will give some testers just the liberty to go out into like rank and shit like that, and then just go test the Shikai itself and record it and just express their opinions out in the open, you know, and then maybe introduce more broader tests for said Shikai. You know, I feel like, and the thing is, I also feel like there's a lot of content that came to this update that could probably relatively be saved for, you know, for Hell. Maybe there's a lot more shit that's in Hell that we don't know that they're saving, you know. From what I've been told, developers say that making new Shikai, new content is not the issue. I guess being able to test it to be the issue. I don't know. It comes down to where I guess they don't have the liberty or they were able to do certain stuff back then. And I just feel like as a human being working, you know, updates. Like, let me say this: people who clarify, or people as devs or anybody out there who said they can get, you know, 2 to 3 updates in one game, you know, 1 week is beneath me. That's impossible. Well, very hard. But I don't know. Being bi-weeklies is the best case scenario. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree with this. You know, who knows? Hopefully later down the future updates we can see more cool things. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing new Shikai, new Reses or new Quincy Gold. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more interesting. I see someone in the suggestion board suggest like a water-based shred called the Ocean. That's not a bad idea. I didn't read too much of the rules, but I was like, oh, the Ocean. There's no O-related type of thing. You know, stuff like that seems pretty cool. And maybe, you know, that's actually, unironically, you know how they made a Haka Kido move? They could do the same thing for Haka Kido, like, skills for, like, for Kendo. Because, actually, it's not canon based. It's more of a non-canon type of deal that they did. You could literally go see in the Bleach wiki where there's a keto based Shikai where it does certain projectiles, or it's like a virus type S thing. They could take those ideas and implement it. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much source material. Maybe it's not as much source material that I'm making it sound out to be, but they could take ideas and add on top of. It doesn't have to be strictly word for word. You know, I mean, you know, I want to see TOSEN Shikai. You know how comp it is? I mean, TOSEN Shikai is basically confusion and Kyuka on crack, because it changes your senses. Like, you're not able to, you know, I think you're not able to see, or you can smell. That's pretty, no, you can touch. I don't know. It makes it where you can't see or some shit. Probably toxic to fight, but you know, just cool stuff like that. But hopefully, I just want to see more fleshed out content in future updates, more quality of life, more things I don't have to hassle my ass off. I mean, the main hassle for this game was progression. Maybe introduce new titles. Actually, no, because that's probably for the sweat scene. Maybe adding titles might not be the way. Maybe for hell. Maybe. I don't know. They could do shit like that. And I also want to let you know, Hawk and Rework is still being worked on. They brought it back. Nuova, oh, excuse me, I had a gas. Nuova was going to be the main focus point, I guess, for that. But I guess, you know, it's an unfortunate situation that happened where, you know, that was been on pause. But I'm on a drama news channel. You can find it out on other people's channels. But I feel like now that we have, you know, what is his nose rep working on it, that's pretty cool. Because he's been making most of the, you know, most Hakata shit, oriented shit. Like, he made the universal weapon. I think Confliction was made by Chaotic, I believe, but it got revamped. But nah, like I said, the update was a solid mini W. It's almost a neutral for me. It's just like the skill box and the gravity sheet kind of sealed the deal for me. So I want to say appreciate for watching this video. Go like and subscribe, and like I say, is fear God and amen.